58, I think. I typed it, can't remember it. I hope you're having a great old Thursday. Welcome for coming along and joining us today. I hope you're all well and enjoying. Well, we're getting some fantastic sunshine. And if you've been watching the news in this part of the world, temperatures for us are pretty mighty fine as well. Have to say, can't complain. I do quite like it. Part of the reason we live here, we really love the bay. So have you got your email for Stitch and Summer this morning? You may have seen, and I even got myself some props. This morning on Skeinz Stitch and Summer, we have our sock, which is going up and ready. This is usually $12.95 for a 100 gram ball, which, to be honest for you, is fantastic value in any day of the week. But today, only for Stitch and Summer, it is $9.95. So make sure you pick some of this up. I see the black cherry has already sold out, but all the other colours are still available. And, you know, they're great not only for making socks. I've just gone and pulled out this sock there. Not only for making socks, but also to stay there before, actually, I'll move you over there so you do not fall over on me. Garments, perfect for garments. So if you are working with our merino soft baby and you're wanting to add additional colours in for colour work, don't forget our skein sock. Yes, I do know that there is some nylon content in there, but it doesn't actually make any difference in terms of the handle or the feel of the yarn. The nylon is there that if you're knitting socks, it means that you've got a bit of extra reinforcing, but it works beautifully as a garment yarn and it performs really, really well. And you've got some really good, nice neutral colours in the skein sock, which help in terms of doing some colour work or finding sort of a blank canvas for whatever you're wanting to do. So if you're wanting to stock up, do make sure you pick up some of that skein sock. And one of the things I thought you might want to stock up on, and I just gone and grabbed these, and the wonderful Heather brought these in to show me this morning, and I was so delighted because your timing was perfect. We've just got this on display on our counter, but we have got the Ashford dyes in now. And the reason we've got these on display with the sock yarn here is Heather at the last school holidays just took this sock, because we've got naked skeins, and this is what our naked skein sock actually is. It's this yarn here. And you may not want to be able to buy, you will need 1 kilo of yarn. You may only just want to have a play around with a single ball or a couple of balls worth. This is where the naked sock is perfect. Absolutely perfect. We've got tons of natural. Pick up the natural balls. These are undyed. They're ready to go. All you need to do is wind them off into a hank. You can use that using a niddy noddy. If you're a spinner, you'll know what that is. If you don't have one of those, a Swift, doing a reverse wind on a Swift. So in fact, I've got my Swift just sitting there. I'll just, flick it round. So there's, we're doing some winding off this morning. So there's my Swift there. So if you've got a Swift and you can reverse, oh gosh, what have I done there? There you go. Come on, you know you want to. You can do that with the Swift, and that will help. There we go. That will help. You can just wind it back into a hank, and then you can do the dyeing. So we've just got the full range of all the Ashford colours, just in the small pots. We haven't done the larger ones at this stage, but these are perfect for you to have a little bit of a play around at home. And one of the things Heather did in the last school holidays is she took this in a few colours, and she did these. And in fact, she actually did these, I think, with food colouring. She said she had some, I think, one dye, and then the rest was food colourings. And she divided them out, her ball of sock into 2 halves, made 2 little equal size skeins, and she's got 2 beautiful, beautiful daughters. And she gave each one of them a skein and gave them their food colouring and said, right, girls, have at it. And each one of them did quite a different colour palette. As you can see, one did very full colour palette. The other one did, look at these beautiful sprinkles. Now, these girls, seriously, these girls are 5 and 8. So, you know, they're absolutely adorable. And what she then has done, she's just completed these last night, is she's then knitted these into a pair of socks for her mother, the girl's grandmother, who look after them. So hopefully she doesn't watch, because I've let the cat out of the bag. Heather assures me she doesn't. So if you know Heather's mum, don't tell her. But isn't that Isn't that adorable? So utterly, utterly adorable. And it's just so much fun. Yeah. And as I said, she's done this with a bit of food colouring. And I think she said she had one colour at home, but just all she did was mostly food colouring with it. It's just some fun, something that you can do. I know some of the kids are, even the primary schools, some of the kids are broken up already this week. So if you're looking for something fun to do, stock up on that Skeinz sock today to make sure you get that really good price. And those dies are on our under our Ashford section if you want to check out those. So that's a really neat little idea. So let's see who's in the house this morning. Good morning, Janet and Margaret. Oh, and Janet, good morning, Janet from Gisborne. I'm going to be up there this weekend. I'm heading off there tomorrow, actually. I can't wait. Everyone is here. Oh, hey, Raylene. I'm so glad. You must stay up late, Raylene. Raylene's in Essex in the UK, but she's a Kiwi. And so how's it all going over there? I hope it's not too cold. Oh, it's so good to see everybody this morning. It's been kind of weird. Like this week, I did knocked most of my Christmas shopping off on Tuesday. The list, I have to admit, as children get older in your family, the Christmas buying lists get smaller, or they become much more simple. I mean, we've got a load of teenagers now, and it's just like auntie money. And once I get to a certain age, I stop. It's like, no, you don't get anything from me anymore now. And a lot of them have dropped off the list. So I have to say, it was quite easy and straightforward. I did a good chunk of it on Tuesday morning, which was great. And I had to do it because I'm going to Gisborne tomorrow to have a Gisborne family Christmas with my whānau up there this weekend, my immediate family up there this weekend. So I needed to be organised for that. And then yesterday, off-site, Claire and I, would you believe, Claire and I did our full big finalised 2021 planning meeting. So we've already got stuff in that's had to roll over into next year because, of course, COVID put the brakes on a whole bunch of things, but that's okay. And then we also did a whole bunch of other planning, which will take us all the way through to the end of next year in regards to product development. So that's range extensions, new colours, some directions and things that we want to head into. And I'm literally, before I shot out to here, I was busy typing that all up for the mill team. It's really exciting, actually. It's a really fun thing to do, to be able to go through and have a look at all your ranges and see where things are at and what they're doing and how they're moving. And it's fun. You know, we've got a lot, so much flexibility because we do so much of our own product development and our own manufacturing. And we've now started developing relationships with other mills around the world that are very similar to our own. They tend to be mills that are family owned or businesses or distributorships that are family owned. And we all are very much on the same page. And it just means that we can bring you a wider variety of yarns all the time. So you've got some choice, but always at the forefront with us is value. We're really big on making sure that you can afford to knit whatever it is that you want to knit when you want to knit it. So it's something that we're really quite hot on. I have to say, I was really hoping that I could sit and show you the little hat that I'd finished for my friend Callum. But my grand plans yesterday afternoon to finish that completely got scuppered because teenage son number one decided to have a friend over, and that was the end of that, really, by the time I, managed teenagers and thus. That's okay, though. It's all good. I will get there, I promise. But I'm going to show you the beginnings of which is the reason why we've got the winders and the Swift out, the beginnings of what I'm planning to do for Stitch in Summer. But first, I just wanted to show you a couple of other yarns that we've got in the range. We've still got plenty of, but they're colours and yarns that are perfect for this time of year if you're looking for yarns for Stitch in Summer, because I jumped onto Ravelry to see what was hot right now. And I mean, let's face it, because of the Northern Hemisphere winter, there is so much in these beautiful bulky yarns. I mean, amazing. So if you've stocked up on Southlander last month, you're going to have a field day. There is so much design, beautiful design that is perfect for Southlander, including a number of designs I noticed that were in the latest Lana magazine, which I'm waiting for my copy to arrive from Deborah down at Outlaw. so many, gorgeous. And I see one of my absolute favourites, Midori Hirose, is in there. So she did the Chaika and the Ranunculus. We love Midori Hirose. And she's got a new design in there, and all of them would look amazing in Southlander. So if you've got Southlander stash, do jump over and have a look, because there could be some patterns that will use those beautifully. So there's tons there. But one that caught my eye this morning, and I'm going to see if I can get this up. There we go. Look, here's one I prepared earlier. And this one is called Roxana by Kate Oakes. And it is a new release. And it just caught my eye this morning because it was in a 4-ply. It's using Quince & Co. Sparrow, but she's gone and knitted 22 stitch tension on a 3.5 millimeter needle. So it's using it's sort of taking a 4-ply yarn to the drapier end of its sort of brain engaged tension range. But what I loved about it, and it is just one of these projects it's a classic layering piece. And I think this is how she's described it. Let me just pull this up here for you. There we go. And as you can see, it's a really gorgeous little layering piece. It's that boxy sort of style. So, I mean, we've seen this boxy style. Hohi Locatelli is really keen on this style. Actually, the swatch show that I've just done with Caitlin Hunter, one of the things I noticed with this is how they've got, oh God, I'm pointing to the screen as if you can see me pointing to the screen. Should we use our pointer? There we go. This little sleeve here, that sort of boxy sleeve, and it's sort of actually surprisingly flattering. So even though that this isn't a swancho, it's got that kind of element like it. So it's very boxy, very free form, free fitting. It will hide a multitude of sins. I'm all about that, believe me, particularly if we've been tucking into too much Christmas pud, that this will be ideal. But it's, again, one of the things that I'm seeing with design at the moment, there's a lot of very contemporary shapes that are coming out now from designers, and they're very, what I call very simple wearable pieces, as opposed to be pieces that are either works of art or incredibly structural. They're pieces that are actually surprisingly simple, very classic. And I actually really like that. I like the fact that we have pieces like this because it enables us to actually have stuff in our wardrobes that we would wear all the time. And where you can actually play around with something like this, I mean, the sample here is done in a very beautiful muted charcoal. But you know what? You could actually play around with this and have some fun with colour. This is the perfect sort of top for springtime. It's the type of thing that you can have a camisole on underneath and just toss this puppy over the top. You could even actually use it in the summertime, like if you're at the beach and you're just wanting something to pop over your togs or your bikini. Not that I'd be in a bikini, but you know what I mean. I just really liked the idea of it. And as you can see, it's very straightforward. It's got these very, very simple details. And one of the things just in this idea actually with the detail here, because you will get a little bit of sort of, they've got the way she's done the cast off, there could be a little slight amount of curling, which I think that looking at this, she's gone and built in and emphasized that into the pattern. But as you can see, it's super flattering, great for layering, very simple neckline, incredibly clean. Okay. So according to this, let's jump out of here, Marie, so I can take. She's used a 4-ply, and the size range has certainly won massive amounts of positive E. So she's gone with starting from 46.5 all the way through to 86 inch. So that's massive, and she's also got a 30% off this new design, no coupon necessary, and it works all the way through until then. It's saying, oh, maybe we've missed it. Well, today actually, this is the 9th of the 12th, which will be, I am sure, US time. So if you get your skates on, if you picked it up today, you'll get 30% off. And has she written down the positive E's for us here? This is by Kate Oates, by the way. Very sorry. Roxana by Kate Oates. No, she hasn't. But the meterages are, you're looking at anywhere from 1100 through to 1,100 through to 2,100 meters if you're going for the really big one. Now, to be brutally honest with you, that really big size is utterly massive. So I'm picking that, like for someone like me, I would probably go middle for diddle. So I'd be looking at 1,600 to 1,800 meters. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of yarns here that I think would be utterly brilliant in this, particularly if you're looking for a stitch and summer project. To me, this ticks all the boxes for a stitch and summer project. Simple, but classic, wearable. You want something that you can pick up and put down if you're at the beach or at home having a staycation or just chilling out. You don't want anything necessarily too heavy. If you don't like, some people don't like heavy projects in the summer. Doesn't bother me. I mean, you're talking to the woman who knits blankets in the summer. So, oh yeah, I know. I'm mad. However, that top, that project, that Roxana, I've got and pulled these yarns out because we've had these for a little while now. And we still do have, because we got all the stocks in that they had of these colours, but these colours from Blue Sky Fibres. I know a number of you have this in stash. You bought these when these were on promotion a few months back. This is the alpaca 50/50 alpaca silk. Now, these are, honestly, are they not summer on a skein? I mean, look at that. Hello. Oh, look, colour coordinated. I do like it when I'm colour coordinated. Makes me happy. Summer in a skein right here. And this drape on this, honestly, I'm seriously tempted to do that project in this. The drape on this would be perfect for that Roxana. Utterly amazing. Right, meterage wise, you're looking at 133 meters per skein. So you will be looking at about 10 to 12 skeins for this, but it will look divine. It will be utterly beautiful, and I can see it being something that you would thrash and thrash. If you're not like me and love these beautiful, crazy, bold colors, and you want something a little bit more restrained, you will know that I'm very fond of a yellow. This is the Spud and Chloe, also with a high percentage of silk. And I've gone and pulled both of these out because of their silk contents. It's the perfect sort of yarn to fit with the drape. And also because of the high silk content, because there's not a lot of shaping holding in those necklines and the little cuff detail and the detail around the bottom. There's not a lot of fibre memory there. It means that they should actually sit quite flat for you with that project, which I think is what you want. So that's 50% silk in the first two, which is the Blue Sky Fibres. This is the Spud and Chloe. This one, and I keep forgetting the composition of this one, is 20% silk. So it's 80% wool, 20% silk. It's also in this lovely high twist construction, which would look great in that. You'll have beautiful smooth stocking stitch all the way over. And see that yellow popped over the top of some black or some navy blue. This would look amazing. But we also have the pink and the blue as well. So if you're somebody that wears a lot of white in the summer, for example, I wear a lot of white in the summer, these would look amazing over white linen or singlets or anything like that. And these do actually have quite a bit more meterage. These are great value in terms of meterage, 227 meters per skein. So, and they're actually quite big skeins. They're 65 gram skein, so bigger than the normal. So if we're looking at and they're the same price actually as the others. So if you're looking here, so you 10 skeins would definitely get you the very biggest size. But if you were looking at doing the 1,600 meter size, so that's 2s into 16, so it's 8, probably 7 of these would do most sizes. So yeah. It's just, and it will give you a really wearable fun piece. So if you're sort of scratching your noggin and you're not too sure about what you're wanting to do across the summer, and I mean, let's face it, I mean, I know a lot of us have stash at home, but sometimes you just feel like, throwing caution to the wind, buying that self-Christmas present. Those could be some really nice options for you for that project. And as I said, if you get skates on, you should get that 30% off. Right, let's see who else is here. Oh, yay, so many more has come and jumped in. Oh, look, Raylene just said she stays awake to watch you for my work. Oh, thank you, Raylene. It's so good. Sock knitting in bed because it's freezing. Oh, I bet it is. Right. What else have I got to tell you? What else have I got to tell you? Oh, yes. So I have actually organised my next project to cast on, which is what I talked about on Monday, which if you want what I've just talked about, perfect for a really easy stitch and summer project. Or if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, that pattern, the Roxana, is perfect for this as well. So that's shown as a very contemporary straight piece. But if you wanted to be a little bit more adventurous with it, you could play around a bit with colour, right? You could add stripes, you could do put a colour patterning in there, you could do a whole bunch of things if you wished. Or you could even change up the stitch. You could knit that entire thing in moss stitch if you wanted to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out an Old Faithful in terms of patterns. I've only knitted about, in fact, I left it sitting out in the shop, doesn't matter. I've only knitted about 5 of them, and that is Miss Jane. I love Miss Jane by Georgie Nicholson. It is a top-down cardigan. It's got a really nice piece of construction around the sleeve. It flips over. I've done it all in varying sizes. I've got a couple of summer Miss Janes, which are short-sleeved. I've got long-sleeve Miss Janes, including the one that's here in the shop. I haven't knitted one for a year or two, and it's a pattern that I find it's quick and easy to knit. It's surprisingly quick for a cardigan to knit. And it's one where you've got a bit of latitude. And what I like about it is that when you're knitting it, you're starting it in the top and you're working the actual direction of your stitches when you pull it on. At the top, your direction is vertical here at the top. Then you actually pick up a number of stitches, which actually sort of sits just above your bust line. You pick up all the way around and you do just sort of a little patterned band as separation. And then you start working around the body cylindrically, as you would normally expect to do with a cardigan. Then you pick up for your sleeves and go down. So it's quite unusual in that respect. Like the way the shaping of the stitch direction is. And in fact, I might just go and grab it to show you because I think that'll be a really good idea. Can you grab the blue Miss Jane off the wall there for me? Oh, thank you. Alrighty. It's the other way around. I knew I'd get it wrong. It's the other way around. So, is it the other way around? Yes, no, it's not. I got it right. So, this is it here. So, this one is done in Perindar. And the stitch direction, so you can see there's a piece of here that I talked about, which was the design. So, the stitch direction with this is I'm actually looking at striping, doing some crazy stripes, right? So it means that my stripes will be facing in this direction here and then this direction down here. So it means that I can get, with this basic cardigan here, with throwing the colour in, some striping will make it really, really geometric. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan. I mean, remember, this is me. I mean, I do have a tendency to throw caution to the wind. So this is what I'm looking at doing. This is some yarn that I have had, honestly, I have been buying these off and on for donkeys. And they're so covered in dust because they've been sitting at home in a bowl, would you believe? I had them on display in a bowl at home. So I'm using some stuff from Stash. I've got that's one. So this is it here. So they're very, very dark colours. It is Chickadee from Quince & Co., which is a sport weight yarn. And I've also got this guy here, this beautiful truffly brown. So that is quite broody, I know, but this will probably, so I'm going to, because of the colours, I'm going to knit this in a long sleeve as a winter cardigan. But I've decided that, they've been sitting around at home long enough and it's time for them to get converted. And it will be, I think, and also to be fair, been a bit naughty. I'm the sort of person, I've actually had these sitting in a vase at home. So anyone that's been to my house can attest to this because they've probably seen them. So I have this big vase, and these have been sort of out the top. And I've just noticed on a couple of them there is actually some sunfading on them, which is why the stripes are perfect. Because if it's in lots of stripes, a little bit of fading, you're not going to notice it at all. So that is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to utilize that. And I think there is potentially in the incognito, there's one color that I'm eyeing up, which is the same weight as this, that I might throw in as a little radical pop to zing these up even further. I've got this, but there is one other in there that I'm thinking, that might just really give it a bit of a zing. That's what I'm planning to do. So we've got the first one wound off. We're going to wind the rest of them off, and I am going to get that started. I've got more than enough there to actually complete the project. I definitely know that I'm probably going to have leftovers, but it doesn't really matter. The nice thing about the striping, though, is that a lot of it, because of the way that the cardigan, this will be the side edge here. So I should be able to weave in, once I pick this up, it will keep that edge nice and tidy, because that's one of the things with striping is you do your striping and you can carry your colors up to a certain extent, but if you've got lots of ends, it's nice to have something for the ends to weave into, and you don't always have that with a seamless pattern, but with this I will have something for the ends to weave into. What I also am going to do with this is I'm going to, the bands, the moss stitch band and at the bottom is all going to be a single color, probably the dark, I've got a dark sort of grey charcoal in there, or a plum. Again, I haven't quite decided. And that is all going to be a consistent colour. And I will start my striping from this inside band here. So then again, I've got somewhere to weave. So that is, yeah. So that's the plan. You know, I'll possibly get halfway through it with loads of stripes, and I don't even know how. I haven't decided whether the stripes are going to be all the same size yet. I mean, if I'm being particularly structured, I'd probably do sort of 4-row stripes and then just, but part of me is kind of thinking, yeah, I might just throw caution to the wind and do a whole heap of stripes and not actually necessarily do stripes that are like everything from 1-row stripes right through to 4 or 5-row stripes. So I haven't, and just completely random it. I haven't really decided. Haven't quite decided. I might even, I don't know. I'll have wine and think about it. But that's that's what I'm looking at doing, because sometimes it's nice to throw caution to the wind, isn't it? Really nice. What else have I got for you today? Oh, Stitch in Summer for next week. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is because we're still on sock for today. But what I can tell you is it's a huge week on Stitch in Summer next week. Like 2 of our biggest selling yarns, both one in a DK and one in a 4-ply. And if you're a charity knitter, fingers on buzzers, people, believe me, you will not want to miss both Stitch in Summer days next week. So make sure you set it on your calendars. If you've not signed up for the newsletter, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, because next week is going to be huge on Stitch in Summer. And we've still got plenty of more days to come until the end of the year. But on that, I'm going to get going now, because I want to get all that new product development finished up. I've got yarns to wind, and I want to get working on some of these specials for next week. So until then, have an awesome weekend. I'm really thank you, Maxine. Maxine, bless your heart. She's gone and put the Roxana up for you guys. I know I'm so rubbish at that. So thank you so much. And Barbara is saying you can do 4 and 2, and then you could carry the band colour through the body as 2 rows. See, Barbara, yes, I could, and that would be exceptionally logical. I might do that, but I'm actually seriously even considering not putting the band colours through it at all. I'm actually thinking of being a bit radical. We all know that I have a tendency to be a little bit radical. Gosh, I'm hopeless, aren't I? All right. I need to get moving. Don't forget to come visit us. And for those that I have actually started putting out in newsletters our Christmas hours. Our retail store here will be closed the 4-day weekend, Christmas weekend. So that's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and also the 4-day New Year weekend. So again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But we're open our regular hours the rest of the time. So that's nice and easy, isn't it, to remember? So make sure that you have an awesome weekend, and I will catch up with you next weekend, and if you next week, Monday, and if you tune in, I'll give you a sneaky peek and let you know what's coming on that Tuesday for Stitch and Summer, as I always do. Okay, take care. See you next week.